landscapers, I've gotten 500,000 views in the first 10 days for every single client I've worked with so far. And we average a million views per month, about 33,000 per day on average for each of my contractors right now. And as context, most contractors, even with marketing agencies, and you could think for yourself whether this is true for your company, get between 300 views and 10,000 views per video. And they'll post 8 to 20 times a month. On the lower end, this means our clients are getting more like 416 times better results. And on the higher end, it would mean that we're getting 5 times better results than most other contractors. But you as a contractor do not care about views. You care about money and new jobs for your business. And so this is what we've seen as far as that. One of our contractors has gotten projects that are 5 times his average size. His average project size is about 50,000, and through the organic content, he's getting estimates for projects that are $250,000 because of his reputation from his organic presence. And another contractor has gotten 595 new estimate requests in the last 3 months because of what I'm about to show you today. And if you're hearing this, you might be looking for a silver bullet, some sort of trends to follow. You might be looking for how to make pretty content or a way to create social media with very little effort on your end. And if that's you, then this video is probably not for you. This video is for people who want to understand how building trust on social media actually works, what psychology drives people to want to watch your videos, and what psychology will guarantee that people are continuing to watch once they start your videos. And ultimately, this is how to build trust so that you can actually make money and get jobs from social media. And so if you're here for that, then I think that this will be extremely valuable for you. You'll be able to get some really good insights. I'll go over all 3 of these things and give you some ideas on how to work on your content as a landscaper so that you could be able to have more results in the space. Now, jumping in, I want to first talk about how building trust on social media works. And so if you're like most landscapers, most construction companies focus on the 10% of buyers who are ready to make a decision. And so those 10% of buyers are like swamped by tons of people reaching out to them. And there's actually a place where we could be where there's very little competition, where 90% of the buyers are at. And it's in the part where they're preparing to make a decision. And so homeowners average about 8.6 months just planning a kitchen before construction starts. If you want to win big landscaping projects, then this is like, they're going to spend some time planning and thinking about it before they end up doing it. And so what they found in multiple studies is that 92% of buyers will start with at least one vendor already in mind. This is for high ticket decisions. So hopefully you're a landscaper who's selling high ticket projects. And in another study, the vendor ranked first at the start wins about 80% of the time. So again, if you're ranked first here, you're the person that they trust and want to go to, you're going to win 80% of the time. In another study, they found it was 71%. So somewhere between winning between 71 and 80% of the time if you could win in the beginning. And so the whole idea behind creating content is that we could build trust and add value for these people so that by the time they get here, they already know that you are the preferred vendor. And the question is, in a world where trust is dead, how do you create trust with your potential customers? And this is the reality about content, is each piece of content that you post is either going to build trust with your customers, with your followers, with the people who see you online, or it's going to destroy it. And you think of it like a bank account. You're either adding deposits or withdrawals. And if it takes a decent amount of effort to watch the video and somebody feels like they wasted that, then trust is destroyed. And if people feel like they put in effort and got more out of it, then trust is created. That difference is where trust is built or destroyed. And so we want to be able to build content that's going to create trust so that when buyers are ready to spend the money, they're ready to get to that decision point, you've already become the preferred vendor that they want to work with. And then statistically, that means you have much higher odds of winning those jobs. Now, the next question is, what psychology drives people to want to watch videos? Because there are 2 parts of a video. You have the first 3 seconds, and you have to get people hooked on your video. They're going to want to watch your video. And then you have the rest of that period where you have to keep them watching. And so I'll talk about the keeping them watching here in a second. But first of all, we got to get them to watch the videos. And so a lot of contractors think about this. They're like, okay, well, we should do something like dancing or funny or showing off our work or show all the challenges of being a contractor. And those will get views. But again, we do not care about views. We care about trust so you guys can win more landscaping jobs. And the way that I've found most effective to do this is by focusing on the questions that your customers have. And so your customers probably have multiple questions that are the same every single time that you meet with them. With a new customer, they always have similar questions. And so the thing that you want to do as you're approaching it, you want to think about the 10 questions that you answered on your last couple of bids and then write them down. If you want 3 months worth of content, you film 3 months of content all at once, then write 25 pieces of content out. And that'll be good for posting 2 times a week. And those are your next 10 video ideas. Then you want to think about a couple that they have never asked or didn't think to ask, but should be asking. And the next level for this is that by answering the questions that they give you that are obvious, you're building trust. But by asking the questions they haven't even thought to ask, then you're becoming the trusted expert. You're showing and exposing the industry in a way that gets people really excited to work with you, and they see you as an expert instead of any other company. And then the really powerful thing about this is you're framing the rules so that you can win. And so if you're framing the rules, you're just saying, these are the rules that we're playing by, then whenever they talk with any other contractor, they don't know the rules that you have set that the customer is now playing by. And so that is how we come up with content ideas. The majority of my content has come from this format. This is super powerful. And if you could find the right questions that homeowners have and want to know, then they're going to be way interested in working with you. So that is how we get people to watch it. And again, people always want to know answers. They're searching for questions and always trying to find answers. And then we're always analyzing whether what we are hearing is true. And even right now, as I'm telling you this, you're analyzing whether what I say is true or not. And so that is the psychology that drives this and is so powerful for getting people to watch the videos. We've gotten millions of views from this strategy. Now, the next thing is, how do we make sure that people keep watching your videos? And this is what drives views. Again, I do not care about views. I care about jobs that you guys win from the content that we create. And the algorithm will base things off what works best for the algorithm. And if people stay on the algorithm, on the platform for a long time, then the platform will be likely to give you those views. And that means that you have the opportunity to build trust with those customers. So we want to get people watching throughout the whole video, and then the platform will continue showing our video to more people. And so to do this, you have to be obsessed with retention. And you could pull up your social media and look at the retention. You can see actually on a graph, and if you want me to create a video explaining this, how many people are watching for each period of time. And you can see where people drop off. And from there, you can kind of start to engineer your videos. You can start to adjust your videos. So again, kind of the concept behind this is the worst part about creating content is when you post a video and you don't know whether it's going to perform or not. And so people will post videos and it'll go out and then it might get a lot of views and it might not. And that is kind of like the typical way of posting. And there's actually a way better way of posting that can get 10x to 100x as many views. And so this is what we do. This is what we found to be extremely effective. We always want to be learning and developing and creating better videos. And again, if you want like a video breaking this down, then feel free to comment and I'm happy to share some of the things that I've seen. But we've seen videos get 10x to 100 times more views from like testing small things. Like, what is the wording on the screen? The wording on the screen is super powerful because it sets people's expectations of what they're going to see and creates that question in the viewer's head. Are we cutting out parts? Are there certain parts where people lose interest? And this is where you have to be obsessed with retention. And once you could do that, then your videos are going to perform significantly better. And again, we've seen 10x to 100 times as many views. And even if you had very similar videos and you're just testing like different on-screen text, that will make a massive impact in which videos and how well they're performing. So my suggestion is find somebody who could be obsessed about this. If you have a couple $1,000s to be able to invest in somebody who's going to be obsessed on this, then they could perform really well and you'll get better and better results. And now, is it worth it investing a couple $1,000s per month if you could get a $250,000 job from this? Like, to me, if your margins are maybe 5%, then maybe that's not worth it. But maybe if they're like 15%, that would be a $250,000 job would be like 37,000. And like if you have like 30% margins, then you're like closer to 70,000, right? And so I truly believe like it's worth either you being the expert and focusing on the retention, learning everything about this, because I do think it is worth it, or investing in somebody who will invest in this. And the really cool thing is like, if you're a contractor, then you care about like the time that you have. Like you are probably pretty busy. And if you're not busy, then you should be spending all of your time focusing on content, because like that's going to make a massive impact in your business. But if you are busy, then you want to be able to find somebody who can kind of do this for you and be obsessed with this for you, so you don't have to spend every single hour like obsessing about this. But you want to make sure, like, if you are talking with somebody, that they can be obsessed with retention and engineer each video, test what's working, and then continue to improve from there. So these are some of like the things that I found to be super powerful. Again, number one, focus on adding value, creating trust. And if you do that way before then people are going to be way more interested in buying from you. Number two, focus on the questions that people have. People have this psychological urge that they have to have answers when a good question is presented. And finally, number three, be obsessed with retention. Post each video multiple times and test different things, and you'll be able to find the things that are performing best and adjust to do more of that. If you have more questions, let me know in the comments. I'd love to answer them and give you guys some more ideas about how to create really good content. If there's anything I didn't cover, let me know, and I want to share information that is helpful for you.